been in other schools, and man, the kids come in wild. You guys didn't do that. Nice. So you're here to learn something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? What would you guys like to learn today? Yeah? Sure. So what was your expectation in coming here today?
Learning about drumming.
Drumming?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Okay.
And First Nation, traditional. Yeah.
Right on. Okay, I can cover those two things for sure. Okay, so I'll tell you my name first. My name is Joe Migwans. My last name in Ojibwe means feather. My Indian name is Deganene, that was given to me by my grandma and an elder from back home. And I'm from Manitoulin Island, Ontario, but I've been living in the Yukon for like almost 30 years. Okay, so pretty much over half of my life I've been here in the Yukon. And I'm pretty much related to, in the Indian way, the Southern Shoshone people around Haines Junction area here. My Indian name from this area here that was given to me when I was adopted into the Wolf Clan is Gathala. Am I saying that right?
Again?
Gathala.
Yeah, it could be. It sounds right.
Gathala, yeah. That Indian name was given to me when I was adopted into the Wolf Clan in Champaign by elders Patty Jim, Joe Johnson, Lena Johnson, Mary Shadow. Hey, do you guys anybody remember Mary Shadow here? You do, right? Okay, cool. And so that was my Grandma Mary, and Marge Jackson was another one of the elders that adopted me. And so, like I just told the other class, it kind of gives me not so much the right, but the opportunity to be able to teach you the things that I know in Southern Shoshone way. In this area, the people, the elders I know have brought me into the clan. So I'm like family here. This land I know really well. And the teachings around here I know really well. And I'm very proud of the fact that I know those teachings as well, and that they were given to me by the elders here. I remember way back when I was here, at that time they used to take young people out on the land. They used to take them hunting down Ajac or way down by Sycamore, down by Clue Lake. They take kids out fishing, hunting, take them way up in the mountains. And I used to think, wow, those kids have a really good opportunity to learn something here on the land. Because as First Nations, this is where we're from. This is our home, is the land. That's where we learn everything. Everything was given to us on the land. So when we go there, we're at home. We could be just at home out on the land. The Creator gave us everything to live. Everything. I'll tell you this one story on Beaver Man. Beaver Man, he got in trouble with the bear one time. Bear started chasing him. Started chasing him down the trail, and he's going really fast trying to get Beaver Man. Finally, Beaver Man, he seen this pond. It's like a lake. Beaver Man, he ran right into that lake. He swam right down to the middle, down to the bottom. And the bear tried to get him, but he couldn't get him in that water. Beaver Man swam right down underneath the leaves, underneath the weeds. He hid there. And so when he came back up, or he didn't come back up, he stayed there for a long time because he knew that big grizzly bear was after him. He's gonna get him. Here's grizzly bear. He thought, okay, he's trying to outsmart me. I'm gonna get him. So what he did was, the grizzly bear, he seen a snipe, little bird. It's got a really sharp beak. And there was this other thing. There's some kind of animal beside the lake. The grizzly bear told that animal, I don't know what it was. I didn't really get that part in the story. But this thing, he said to that thing, drink that water. Drink all that water out of that lake. So that big monster thing said, okay. He started to drink that water. He drank and drank and drank and drank and drank all that water out of that lake. Pretty soon, grizzly bear, he seen beaver man way down there, down at the bottom. Your beaver man, the grizzly bear, he's gonna go down there and get him. Beaver man's hiding underneath those weeds, and he's looking up, and he sees the grizzly bear is gonna come down. Then he seen this snipe, this bird with a sharp beak. He said, hey, brother snipe, you see that big thing there? He said, go land on it. And he said, poke him. And so, brother snipe, he says, okay. And that big thing that drank all that water, the snipe went and landed on him. And then snipe, he started poking around like that, and then that big monster said, hey, get out of here. Don't get away from me. Don't do that. Here pretty soon, snipe, he found a good place and poked right through. That thing just went poof. And the water all went back, and the grizzly bear, he couldn't get beaver man again. So after a little while, beaver man came back up. Grizzly bear, he left. I went down the trail. Grizzly bear, he just mad. Boom, big rock there like that. He just threw that aside. Just swiped that rock like that, and just went rolling. He was so mad. Walking down the trail. Pretty soon he seen a fox, grizzly bear. Seen a fox sitting down beside the lake. And he gets a straw. This fox is sitting there with a straw. You ever seen a straw beside the swamp? It's hollow, and then it's like old grass. And you just throw it in the water like this, and it goes, right? Makes a little sound. It comes back up. The fox, he was throwing that into the water like that. Every time he threw that straw in there, come back up. He's sitting there, and then all of a sudden that grizzly bear come there. He said, fox, he looks at the grizzly bear, he said, hey, brother bear, you see how the straw goes down like that? And you see how it comes back up? Grizzly bear, he says, yeah. He says, I think people should be that way. He says, what do you mean? He says, I think people, if they die, if they go down, they should come back to life. Come back up. And grizzly bear, he's mad, right? Remember? Because of beaver man. And grizzly bear, he's just mad. He says, no. They shouldn't be like that. He says, they should be this way. And grizzly bear, he grabbed a big rock like that, and he just threw it right down into the water. And the rock just went right to the bottom. And that rock, it never came back. It just stayed right down there. He said, that's how people should be right there. They go down, they don't come back. It's because he was so mad at beaver man. Now, what do you think would have happened if the fox had it his way?
People wouldn't die.
People wouldn't die. They might have a hard time, but they'll come back to life. They would never die. They'll always come back. See, in the creation story, you guys heard of creation stories before?
Yeah.
You did, eh? Creation is a story about where we came from as people. Go ahead, you got a question?
Well, if they did come back alive, would they stay the same age, do you think?
You know, at one time, there's a story in the Bible that people stayed alive for 700 years. People kept going, aging. 700 years old. So, they might have maybe kept going, right, in age. So now, what is a creation story all about? Anybody?
Why are there creation stories?
So I'll tell you, creation tells you the story about who you are and where you come from. Tells you about who you are and where you come from. Every elder that I know that I've ever worked with, they've always told me, you have to know who you are and where you come from. Now, what better place to start than at the beginning? The beginning of time. What would be the beginning of time? Can you imagine what that would be like? How would it look back then? No houses. Anybody else? Yep.
Being plain?
Plain?
No.
Nothing.
Just water?
Just water? Anybody else? How would it look back then?
Like, no cars or anything.
No cars? No.
It'll be dark.
It would be dark. Beginning of time. Yep.
No civilization.
No civilization.
No stars or moon.
No stars or moon. Yeah.
There'd be no electricity.
No electricity. No. No. And then what happened? So now this is the place where people start to tell the story. Go ahead.
There's a story where like there's a chief and a daughter, and then the daughter, no, like there's a raven too. And then the raven, like the daughter was drinking water from a creek, and the raven turned into a pine needle and went into the daughter's bowl, and then she drank them, and then she had a baby, and then the baby was the raven, and then the baby opened all the boxes because there was a box with the sun and a box with the stars and a box with the moon. And then he opened all of them, and then that's how the sun, in the sky, stars, moon.
Right on. That's an awesome creation story. Yeah, and then the world came to be, right? And the people came to be. And that's where we all started to come from. We were told in our story that we were created here. There's a story in the Bible story too. Bible story is like a creation story as well. And what I was told by the elders about the Bible story is that it's in line with our story. Our story, Bible story. Same. Goes along. I'll give you an example. He just told us a story. And that lady had a baby. but she was with no man. That's in our native story. When you look in the Bible story, Mary had a baby with no man too. It was called Immaculate Conception. This story, you look at the flood, there was a flood in the Bible, there's a flood in our story. Lots of these things, they almost go hand in hand with our story. It's told a little bit differently. It's different in the Bible and different in our story. But we're here today. But we began somewhere. Everything begins somewhere. Everything began somewhere. We all started somewhere. Some people believe it was the Big Bang, the Big Bang Theory. But in our story, it wasn't about the Big Bang. It was about the Creator creating us here on this land. It's a long story about the flood story too, and the animals that were there at the time and brought this land to what it is now. So why do we tell creation stories again?
To know
Who we are and where we came from. Awesome. And why do we need to know that? Tell other people when we get older. Absolutely. You need that information to be able to share about who you are and where you came from. That is about our history, right? Our history. So what would be your history?
Mine?
Yes.
Where I came from?
Yeah.
I've always lived here in Assumption.
Right on.
Yeah.
So your history is you've been born here, you've been raised here, and so your parents, from your parents, they were born and raised here,
No.
and their grandparents. Well, just for example, but maybe they were from somewhere else, right?
Yeah.
But then their parents, their grandparents, and we keep going back. Where do you think we're going to end up? The beginning of time, when we were first created again. See, there's a thing called a circle of life. And that's part of what the creation story is all about. We start at the beginning, and we live our life in a circle like this. You remember when you were a baby?
No.
Who remembers when they were a baby? You do, hey? Yeah?
when I was 5.
When you were 5? Yeah, that's pretty close. When you were 3? When you were 4?
When I started walking and started skating.
You started skating at what time?
When I started to walk.
When you were 3? And so what do you remember at 4?
I remember going to kindergarten. I was really happy about it because I went in the afternoon, so I got to sleep longer.
Oh, I remember
what?
Because I got to sleep longer because I went to kindergarten in the afternoon. So I got to do a bunch of things before I went to kindergarten.
Right on. Go ahead.
I remember when I was like 2, my sisters had a bunk bed.
Yeah?
And they were like 4, and then one of my sisters fell off the bed.
Oh my god.
You remember that, eh?
Which one?
Okay, so look at guys. When you have a memory like that, that takes you back to that's your history now. That's your history. So now part of your history is about who your mother and your father are and where they come from. And then you trace that back, and you trace your mom, your grandma, and your grandfather. Your great grandma and your great grandfather. There's your life now. There's a part of where you come from. All of the things that you're gonna, you know what this elder told me? He said, we are coming behind this story, the creation story. He was telling me that. We are coming behind the story. What does that mean? Where's the story? If we're coming behind the story, where's the story? Huh?
In front of us.
In front of us. Ahead of us. Eh? So does that mean, when I was thinking about it, I thought, didn't the story already happen? How could we be coming behind the story? If the story already happened. So, what he's basically saying is when you listen to the creation story in your history, you will pretty much know what your future is going to be like too. What's going to take place. There's a lot of things that are in the creation story that tell you exactly how to be with one another, how to act with one another, how to behave with the world around us, with the creation. All of the teachings are in there. What plants to use as medicine, what things are in an animal that are medicine, and how do we conduct ourselves with the land. Our relationship with the land. Creation stories tell us all these things. That's our history. If we keep going back, we're going to learn more and more and more. How do you gain wisdom? Learning, yes. Does anybody learn here? Did anybody learn the lesson about this? Did anybody ever tell you this? Don't touch the fire, you're going to get burned.
And I still did it.
You still did it?
Yep.
Who else?
When I was 3.
You did too?
Yeah.
And you did too? All of these did? Well, you're not alone. Because I did it too. Even though they told me, don't touch the fire, you're going to get burned, I still touched the fire. But that's our lesson. How do we gain wisdom? By learning from our mistakes, yes. What is history? I'm not saying history is a mistake. All I'm saying is history is an experience, right? So how do we learn lessons? By making mistakes. That's one way. So now we're talking about the creation story, right? So how are we going to learn a lesson? There's a formula for wisdom. And that wisdom, you want to be wise? Yeah. I'd rather be wise than learning from a hard knocks. I'd rather use my wisdom than getting burned every time. Right? So, here's the formula. Knowledge plus experience equals what? Wisdom. Wisdom, yes. Knowledge plus experience equals wisdom. Now you use that formula. You guys go to class every day and our teacher tells you all day long, this is what you got to do. Teaching you all day. Teach, teach, teach. So now your head is full. You go to the next class. Teacher fills your head up again, right? And the next class, they fill your head up again? You gotta make some room. Right on. So now look, the teachers are filling up your head all the time. Fill your head, fill your head. So now you have lots of knowledge. That's what they're teaching you, is knowledge. Next, I'm not saying that you need to have an experience with everything. but you need to have some experience with the knowledge. How many here have to, how many here know what 1 + 1 is? Holy, almost all of you.
Almost?
Okay, all of you now. All of you know what 1 + 1 is, right? Okay. Do you need to learn that again?
No.
Why not?
Because you don't forget.
Exactly. You already know it. You don't need to. Yeah.
But stick around for lunch.
Okay.
Culture Club, we have moose heart and moose stew. I'll see you guys at lunch.
Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah. So, we don't have to learn that lesson over again because we already know it, right? You know what 1 + 1 is?
Yes.
Yeah. We don't need to learn it over again. We already have the experience of knowing what 1 + 1 = 2. Right? So we have the experience. We have the knowledge, we have the experience. And what does that mean? We have now what? We now have wisdom about math and the concept of math. The concept of math and putting things together. This is how we're going to think. This is what creation story is all about. This is what history is all about. This is what elders talk about. Elder talks about their what? What a lot of times with elders, they tell you what?
Wisdom, experience.
Wisdom, history, experience. Right on. Those are good. What do most elders tell you? Knowledge and stories, yes. Stories. They tell you a lot of stories. From their history, from their experience. So we're going to put this all together. This is the formula, right? Playing games all night till 3 a.m. equals
Tired.
right on. This guy's with it. Didn't play video games last night, did you? No. There you go. You watch movies till 2.
I went to bed at 11, so.
I stay up till 1.
11?
I see up till
11? Yawning? Yawning.
What?
You're yawning.
9.
What time did you go to sleep?
1.
1?
I was playing.
Just about to yawn again.
9.
So what time did you go to sleep? Okay. So what do you think about it, guys?
6:30.
So now you're starting to put things together. Knowledge, experience equals wisdom. Going to sleep at 2 o'clock equals what at school in the morning? Tired. Yeah. See, we're putting it together now.
Not learning.
Not learning. That equals another thing, right? So, staying up late, being tired equals not learning. Good one. What's your name?
Ethan.
Ethan? Thanks, Ethan. So, you're putting things together now. Everything's going to start to make sense. When you start going forward here, you put all these things into practical experience for yourselves, all right? You know what? And this lesson came out of traditional knowledge. When it's 40 below outside, before you go out there, what do?
Dress up warm.
Dress up warm. Bring someone with you?
Drag someone out the door.
Need a ride at 40 below? Right
Not
on.
go outside.
Not go outside?
Start the gun.
Take Take off your coat, did you say?
Yep.
He's losing it.
There will be a switch. The bell just rang. Our whole life focuses on bells. There's a
And to just pass on some teachings. And we have an elder here, Virginia. And she's here to listen and to share whenever if she wants to. You're welcome to do that. We never got to talk about that. But yeah, so my name is Joe Migwans. I've been adopted into the Wolf Clan here in Champaign-Ajac. I was adopted by Patty Jim, Marge Jackson, Mary Shadow, Lena Johnson, Jojo Johnson. These elders adopted me into the Wolf Clan. Who's all here in the clan? Yeah? Right on. Lots of these, eh? Okay, so you know about the clans and stuff. And so I was adopted into the Wolf Clan, and my name they gave me, my Indian name is Kathala. Who here has an Indian name? Right on. Okay, so my name is Kathala, and where I come from, I'm a Ojibwe from Manitoulin Island, Ontario. But I've been living here in the Yukon for almost 30 years. So I spent over half my life here in the Yukon. So in a sense, I was pretty much raised here by the elders here, and the people here. And the teachings that were given to me, largely are teachings from Southern Shoshone and the elders of the Yukon. Okay? I do a lot of different things. I teach different things to people, and I love doing that stuff, cultural, traditional stuff, like drum making, snowshoe making, different things like that. Okay, so what I want to do is a little round of introductions, and I want you to tell me your Indian name and what clan you're from as well. And if you're not, that's fine too. You could just share about who you are and where you come from as well. Okay? And so we'll start.
My name is Virginia Allen.